Hey everybody, how is everything going in Shreveport?
It's cold, Roosevelt.
It's cold. Boo.
Yeah. Yeah. Who you got in the Super Bowl, Roosevelt?
Man, oh, that's an easy one. Cincinnati.
Yeah, right.
That's an easy
The
one.
Burrows.
Yeah,
Right.
that's an
So
easy
it's
one.
cold, and I'm thinking Super Bowl next week. But yeah,
Oh,
good to
yeah.
see you, Tim. How are you?
Doing great. Good to be with y'all again. And the weather's pretty today. Glad for a little warmth.
It is.
Oh yeah, Dorothy. What's funny is it's colder there than it is here in Atlanta.
I know.
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it?
That's weird.
And you know what? The thing about it, we got this residue coming out of Texas, out of Dallas, and evidently they must got it coming out of Oklahoma. So yeah, it's passing through. So yeah.
Tell me they can keep it. Let's make a phone call.
You know what?
Keep that.
Absolutely.
Feels like it's come out of the North Pole. So
No.
cold. I left
Well,
my pipe
I
dripping
know.
pipe outside every night. Bad.
Man, but you know, it's a new year. We have a lot going. Let's say this: it's a new year, and we had a lot going on in 2021, and we have a lot that's that's coming to fruition in 2022. And that's why I have you guys on, because the work that you guys have been putting in for almost a decade, for more than a decade.
For a decade. 10
For a
years.
decade.
Yeah, seemed like
really.
2 or 3 decades sometimes.
Yes.
Oh, I know, all right.
It's been going on a while. But what a great group of people, and I meet new friends every day. You know, I was putting signs out. We got these great new yard signs if you're in Shreveport in the area and want one. So I was putting it out and met a guy who was literally born. His mother gave birth to him in Allendale, just off of Ford Street. He was so excited to get his sign. There's just a lot of energy, and I'm really proud of this small group of rebels, as we've been called, that have been so creative, been able to hold together for so long. So it's exciting for me to go out and hit the streets with yard signs and meet people that are as excited as we are about the future of Allendale.
Definitely. And one of the things, you know, to jump right into it, one of the things that makes us exciting is because all that hard work that you've been putting in, Dorothy and Kim and John, is starting to be recognized by the Federal Highway Commission. And I, you know, we thought that was the not the Jedi, but the Empire. We thought that was the Empire.
That was the Death Star.
Yeah, but
they could wipe us out if they wanted to, but
yeah, but they're not. And Dorothy, what information you got?
So even though Allendale, you know, is threatened by this unjust transportation process, we had the opportunity at a November 9th, 2021 meeting to meet with the Federal Highway Administration, the Louisiana division, and we were allowed to give our comments about the inequities in our community. So as we submitted our comments to them, then these comments went all the way over to the United States Department of Federal Highway Administration. And we were provided a point of contact for the injustices that we have gone through and still going through. So they appointed us a point of contact person for equity and civil rights issues. And I think that's a great plus, a good start, because now our voices are really being heard. And this, you know what, this is really what got me. Even at the November 9th meeting, John and I attended another meeting in December, and once I got through speaking and talking about, and even Cedric Glover was there, I got up and thanked him because he was right there with Allendale Strong. And once I talked about, the complaints and the injustices that we have been facing, when I got back to my seat, I received little cards, get my information, and I thought that was really something, for people to really hear what we were saying and that we were serious about what we've been doing, because to me, it's almost like, oh, that's them little people over there still trying to keep up with ruckus, blah, blah, blah. But they actually heard us in that meeting. So I am very appreciative that we even got that point of contact person for our civil rights issues. And we have spoken with him, and I know Kim has sent in some information to him, our complaints, and we're just waiting to hear back from him and just to see where it's going from there. So I'm grateful, just to have gotten that far. So even though we've been working on this a decade, and sometimes it seems like it's longer, but I believe this is our season to get
It
what we need.
seems that way. I was fortunate too to be invited to interview some of the members of that joint committee of the Louisiana Legislative House and Senate Transportation Committee. Angel Bradford, who we got to get on, is working in the Baton Rouge, New Orleans area, and she set up a group of us from around the state to go back and interview each of these senators and representatives. And I had a chance to talk with 2 or 3 of them, and I was amazed at how willing to listen they are now. After all these years, they were actually listening, and I felt like they understood what we were talking about, that it's actually cheaper to invest in what really is an old way, but the trains can carry people much more inexpensively and easier on the environment than a highway can, with all the individual cars up and down the highway. So they're interested in investing in rail, for instance, as opposed to trying to keep building new highways to move people. It's been fascinating these last few months talking to all those folks. So our message is growing throughout the state now. I'm very excited.
And really fun fact, a lot of people, I learned this the other day, electric cars are heavier than gas cars. So a heavier car means more stress on the roads.
Right. And another fun fact is that there's literally more trucks on the road now. They can't all fit in a truck stop to park. We need more parking infrastructure for all the trucks. So we can't build highways fast enough, and we can't keep them up once we build them. So we need to think about some better ways. In a lot of cases, those were the old ways of moving people from town to town.
John, Angel is with the Sierra Club Delta chapter, and she has been participating. In fact, that's how we got to her. She wanted to be a part of our Four Corners Coalition, which at this point is 5 cities from across the state that are really coming together to support each other in our individual struggles, but also to collectively feel that we can make more progress toward changing urban transportation policies and practices together than we can apart. And so your participation with Angel has really come with her continuing to say, how do we bring together the the efforts around transit, our public transit, with our direction around changing policies and practices on urban transportation planning, highways, roads, and all of those things. So really have enjoyed her participation in our Allendale efforts, as well as you now beginning to join her in that transit related efforts as well. But it's kind of circling back to this federal highways civil rights investigation. Roosevelt is it's taken a long time, and during this course of 9-10 years, we have continually informed the federal government with about 8 or 9 different complaints, sharing the injustices of the process. NLCOG is just, they're adhering to the game that and rules that were set up for them, and they've gotten really good at it. But those rules we've discovered in our long experience now, is they're producing misinformation, and that misinformation is being used by our decision makers at the state and local levels to make decisions about the future of our state and communities. And so, that process has produced a $30 billion backlog of unfunded maintenance and new mega projects like I-49 that they're promoting. And I'm really glad to see some legislators now saying, we got to open ourselves up to some new thinking, because this just is not getting us where we want to go. So when John's describing the willingness to listen, I have to believe that some of it is just coming out of the long time frustration of promises of getting to a better future, only to see our deficits grow, the potholes expand, and our cities and communities suffer decline. And as we've learned, one of the chief culprits is the way that our state and our cities have approached transportation thinking, cutting them up with cut-through freeways. So it's a feeling of opportunity for change. We delivered 10 points of injustice that have been experienced through Allendale, and that it really is. We've gotten where we can talk about it better. We understand it because we've studied.